everyone, and welcome to Facebook Live. I'm so excited to have Nancy Freites here with me. This is right her. This is the mom who started the Ice Bucket Challenge that went so viral 5 years ago. I know a lot of people watching, like me, poured ice water over our heads to raise awareness and money for ALS research. Mark challenged me, and a bunch of us did it together here at Facebook, which was not a typical day at the office. What I think most people don't know is Nancy and the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge are what inspired Facebook to create our first fundraising tools in 2015. And the reason it's so exciting to have you here with us today is we have a big announcement, which is that we're announcing today that people have raised $2 billion for causes they care about around the world. And that is very much to the credit of people like Nancy. So welcome to Facebook.
Well, thank you, Sheryl. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so honored. Thank you.
We're honored. Okay, let's go back.
Okay.
This July was 5 years of the Ice Bucket Challenge. And I said this to you. I think every nonprofit in the world has sat in a conference room or a boardroom or a meeting room and said, how do we do the Ice Bucket Challenge? Right. So how did you get this idea?
Well, we didn't get the idea. I relate it back to a young man who was given a terminal diagnosis, my son, at age 27, who looked at it as opportunity, lived very much in the present, and knew he was building momentum, knew he was educating a whole new generation to your grandfather's disease, which ALS, I think, was kind of known as. But he knew it was an unknown disease, so he was very much in tune to building community, building momentum. And the Ice Bucket Challenge in the act in and of itself had been on the internet floating around for about 8 months. So I laugh when I get calls from these different nonprofits because I'm like, well, somebody probably did it for you during that 8 months. What's the difference? You had two young men, Pat Quinn and Pete Freites, who knew they were building momentum, waiting for the vehicle. And when they saw it, they were present enough to grab hold of it and then go to Facebook and use high-level strategy to push it out and make it their own.
It's just amazing. So what happened is there were 17 million videos. Videos were uploaded to Facebook that year, 115 million raised that summer alone. So successful that I understand the ALS website couldn't handle all the donations. How do you think about the role social media played in that, and what kind of role do you think it continues to play today?
Oh, it's pivotal. It's at the origin of this. So when Pete got this particular disease, being a Division I athlete in 27-year-old great form, he saw what the road ahead was going to be, which was a very visible regression, I guess you would call it, of his body. And he knew that he needed to tell his tale through pictures, through video, because that would be the visceral level of it. So we started day one. We created a Team Freight Train Facebook page. It wasn't a donation page. It wasn't charity. It was our journal. So we actually journaled on his progression on Facebook for 2.5 years. And then when the Ice Bucket Challenge happened and all that money started coming in, the disruption in philanthropy that we saw was overwhelming. It was, what it did is the entry fee. Now, I'm a little bit older than most people on this campus, Sheryl, just to let you know, but traditional philanthropy, the walks, the galas, the auctions, they're all great, but there's always an expense associated with it. So what we were seeing is for every dollar raised, it was a win-win-win. It was ease of getting into philanthropy if you could donate online. The second win was for the nonprofit because they were getting 100% of the donation. And the third win, and the most important win, is the people that were being provided the help through the nonprofits, and in our case, ALS research. I think social media is here. It is remarkable what it does in the world of philanthropy right now. And I do a lot of mentoring, as said, in the nonprofit world, and I still kind of have to shake some organizations and say, if you're not having a social media component to your fundraising, then you are completely missing the boat. I go and I look at financials. I'm on a couple of nonprofit boards, and they have the revenues, and we're looking at the direct mail and the gala and the Facebook. And sometimes you have to remind people that that Facebook number is 100% to the bottom line, which is amazing.
So what is your favorite example of people using social media for good besides the Ice Bucket Challenge? I mean, the Ice Bucket Challenge spurred so many other things. What's another example of one you've really admired?
Well, I think that breast cancer, they do a great job. I think Susan G. Komen does an amazing job documenting the true stories of the people that they're helping. And I think that's what social media does. I think I mentioned the word honesty in a conversation that we were having today. It's so honest. You can't hide what's going on when you post something on Facebook. It's coming directly from the person, and you bring it right into another person's heart. And that's when people will react. They'll react on the emotion when their heartstrings are pulled. And the honesty of giving to that person is just so real.
Yeah. So one piece of advice you have for others, we've talked about how part of what happens when you have something difficult happen, like this diagnosis, for me, my husband's death, is we look for ways to help others as we grow. What advice do you have? Because I think so many people out there today may be watching thinking that they're going through something hard. And I know you're so beautifully articulate about this. I'd love this to be, a final question I get to ask you.
I think the thing that I would say to anyone whose life changes in a second or has something traumatic happened in their life, I'm going to be really plain and simple with the words. Give yourself a break. There's no judgment on how you handle whatever is being handed to you. I know so many people sometimes will say to me, how do you do what you do? How do you do what you do? And I always say to them, this is my coping mechanism. This is how I choose to do what you beautifully term as post-traumatic growth. But give yourself a break, and there's no judgment on you on how you're handling it. But at the same time, if you feel that you're not being true to yourself in how you're handling it, because you can get very mixed up and very jumbled up when something happens, seek that person, seek that mentor, seek that person that can help you get to a place which you're going to be able to live the rest of your life. Because I think that's the word that I use every day, is I live in honor of my son. I don't live, it's not my life anymore. It's my life with his spirit with me every single day. And I think that you have to find perspective, and you have to find what works for you. But give yourself a break.
Yeah, it's beautiful. We're going to end with a lightning round.
Oh, okay.
Fast answers, but I think important. Ready?
Okay.
A recent moment of joy.
Well, that's easy. That happened last Friday when Sam Kennedy, the president of the Boston Red Sox, brought Pete a World Series ring that was customized to Pete. And Pete got out of bed, which has been very hard lately for him, and they put it on his finger.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. Favorite act of self-care or self-compassion, the advice you've given others?
For me, it's getting a good massage, I have to say, because I tend to wear my stress right here, as I think most mothers do. And it's hard. It's hard when you have so many roles in so many people's lives to really take a step back. And the best advice that I got was take care of yourself. Take care of yourself.
Last question. Best piece of advice you've received?
Yeah, take care of yourself.
Take care of yourself.
Take care of yourself. I think those of us that are doers tend to lose that. Those of us that are caregivers tend to do that. We tend to always be at the beck and call of other people, which we want to. That's who we are. We're built like that. But at some point, you got to take care of yourself.
Well, beautiful words, great advice, and thank you.
Thank you.
On behalf of everyone at Facebook, on behalf of 45 million people who have donated $2 billion to causes they care about, all of it started with you.
Well, thank you to Facebook
Thank you for being here.
For giving us the platform and doing such good. $2 billion. Just think of the people that have been helped with that.
All started with you. Thank you for being with us today.
Thanks, Sheryl.